Hi, I am DC Contour, author of the Legend of the Salt of the Earth series, and this is officially our last video of season 1. What have you thought about doing season so far? We've done 10 episodes. This is episode 10. 1 episode a week for 10 weeks, and then radio silence until I believe it is October. I think October 9th. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure October 9th is when we will be back in business and you will have season 2 will start. I will look it up in a minute and I'll just put it on the screen for the official season 2 start date. I have actually really enjoyed doing YouTube in this way. I feel like there's less pressure. I have a little more time to kind of like curate the kind of video I want to make. That doesn't necessarily mean they're good. It doesn't necessarily mean I do a great job of execution, but it gives my brain more space to breathe rather than like, you need a video this week, you need a video this week, you need a video this week for 52 weeks, for 100 years until I die, right? So we do have a topic for today. I do want to discuss it real quick, but this is essentially our outro video. We've talked about a lot of fun things. We've talked about my writer dreams. I've introduced my books to you. You watched me make the cover for The Cleaving Earth, which is now available. Again, this is my proof copy. Sorry, it's what I got right now. What else did we do this season? What else did we do this season? I ranted and raved about the things that don't belong in young adult fantasy books. If you missed that video, maybe I'll link all of the videos below. Maybe I'll be like, here's every single video. If this is the first video you're finding, you got a whole season to watch. There's a whole 10 episodes. So let's jump into it really fast. Our topic for today is why you want to write book reviews. I think a lot of us, particularly those of us who went to school in the 90s, I feel like hear book review and think book report, and we have flashbacks to standing in front of our 4th grade class reading about why we read Where the Wild Things Are, or no, not Where the Red Fern Grows, and crying in front of your class as you talk about the dogs. Or maybe that's just me. Anyway, book review, book report are not the same thing. You totally can write your book report to be book report. Write your book review to be like a book report, but you don't have to. Book reviews, I'm going to struggle with this the whole time, so heads up. Every time, I should keep like a little tracker over here where it's every time I say book report instead of book review, it's like ding. Just keep track, ding, ding. Maybe I'll even throw a little ding in there. Anyway, so one of the reasons we want to write book reviews is to help the author. Like anything else on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, or anytime you're buying anything online these days, which unfortunately a lot of us do a lot of shopping online, the place that we go to discover whether or not the product we are looking at is worth our time is reviews, right? If you see a book and it's got 4 reviews and it's 2.5 stars, immediately you're like, no, right? If you see a book that has 100 reviews and is 4.5 stars, you think, maybe, right? If you see a book with 15,000 reviews and it's 4.75 stars, you're thinking, okay, maybe that's really book. I actually, not gonna lie, the last one, I'm like, are you actually a good book, or are you just a popular book right now? Because, sometimes popular is not always good. Anyway, for indie authors specifically, writing reviews helps us a ton. It helps us actually get seen. It helps the algorithms and all the things tell the world, hey, people read this book from this author. Nobody knows who she is, and they seem to like it. When I look at reviews, a couple of things to take into account when you are writing a book review. If you can post a picture of the book, you don't have to really be like, in the picture. You can literally like put like, one of these where you're click, right? Where it's your hand, or if you're like, I don't even want my hand in the picture, that's fine too. Set it on a desk, set it on your table, set it on your bed, set it on your floor, and just snap a picture. A review with a picture means more to Amazon and Barnes & Noble and these other places than reviews without pictures. You don't have to make them super long. Unlike a book report, there's no requirements, right? You don't have to include all of your favorite parts and the things you hated and things you loved and whatever. We love to hear all the things you loved. The things that you hate break our souls a little bit, but, honesty is the best policy. If you hated a book, like you hated it, ask yourself the question first of why you hated it. Was it unmet expectations, right? Like if I go in and I read literally any Stephen King book except his memoir, I'm going to hate the book. Why? I don't read horror. I don't like horror. So reading a genre I already don't like doesn't make sense for me to leave a review and be like, oh my gosh, it was so scary. Because all people who like horror be like, yeah, bro, that's the point. Like, why are you giving him 1 star for writing the genre he said he was going to write, right? So, like, keep in mind that kind of thing. But also, sometimes you go into a book being told that it's one thing and then it's something completely different. That's totally fair to be like, 1 star, this thing's promised it was going to be a clean, sweet romance, and it was a smutty, open door, violent domestic abuse story, and be like, it's like literally the opposite of what I thought I was reading, right? It's advertising as one thing, it's actually something else. 1 star, do not read, right? The majority of the time I read books, I do a lot of research beforehand, and sometimes the research is I already know the author, right? Like I already know the author, I already know that she's going to write good stuff. I already have been exposed to her writing, whether it's through her newsletter or through Instagram posts or whatever, or excuse me, whatever it is, right? I have figured out who this author is. I know something about the author already, and I know I can trust said author. So then the question is, okay, how do you decide, right? How do you decide how many stars, right? And some people are like real willy-nilly with it. They're like, if I loved it, it gets 5 stars. If I liked it, okay, it gets 4 stars. If I was like, meh about it, I get 3 stars. If I didn't like it, I stopped reading it and I don't give it any stars because I never finished reading it, right? My criteria, so to speak, is did I stay up too late to finish this book? Did I purposefully, with full knowledge of the repercussions coming ahead of me, say I am going to choose to read this book rather than go to sleep, even though I know I will regret it in the morning, because I gotta know what happens? If the book made me do that, which sleep is very precious to me, so if the book made me choose it over sleep, 5 stars automatically. Automatically. Even if there are other things that I'm like, this was a little lackluster, that was the story or the writing or the characters, something about that book was interesting enough to me to say, sleep, I don't need you. I'm going to finish reading this book. Automatic 5 stars for me. Okay? My point in all of this is that, number one, your review, your honest review, helps other readers find authors' books. Specifically, if you really like an author, right? If you're like, oh, I really loved this one, go on. And like, there's going to be big authors, right? Like J.K. Rowling does not care. She does not care. Not because she's heartless, not because she's terrible, but she's already so popular that she doesn't actually need you to write a review, right? If Taylor Swift was to write a book tomorrow, she doesn't need me to go write a review. Why? Because she can literally go onto her Instagram and say, hey, y'all, I wrote a book. And bajillions of people will see it, and it will be sold out like that. And it will have 18 billion reviews. Everybody already knows who she is, right? That is not the typical experience for the average indie author. right? I think my first book, let's look it up. Let's look it up right now. This is live here right now. I'm probably going to regret this, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to look up my book one on Amazon right now. Just so you know, when you search a change of tide, spell tide right, tide, DC contour, mine will probably come up properly because I search it a lot to send. People ask me, okay, where's your link where to buy your book? So I will send it a lot. What? What did you search for? Oh, okay. Nope, it did it. So this is what it will do. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, nope, you can't because my sister-in-law's talking to me. It will change it. You can't see it. It changes it to, because my name is Contour, Contor, but it changes it to like Contour, Contour. And then it'll be like, oh, I can't find your book. I don't even know what you're looking for. Makeup. No, search the thing I actually asked you to find. Oh, look, there's my book. Okay, so I have a grand total of 7 reviews. I have a 4.8 rating, though. 4.8 out of those 7 reviews. So this is what I'm saying, though, right? Oh, gosh dang it. Here, let me do this. Maybe this will help. Does that help? Ish. Right? So you can see my reviews. I don't have a lot, but I do have some, right? And some of them, hey, look, I got a review from a different country. That's my friend. That's so cute. I didn't know that. That's so cute. I have to read that later. But we've got some different reviews here. And again, like some of them are, well, that one's from me. So I write review on my own book and I review the experience of writing it. But some people, like my one friend, the JB here, she wrote a very extensive review, which was amazing. Other people wrote much shorter reviews. You can literally write a review, hit your star number, take your picture of your thing, and just write, loved it. That can be the review. If you love the author, if you enjoyed the book, take the 5 seconds, go post a review, because it massively, massively, massively helps indie authors. We're not allowed to pay for reviews. Not that that stops some people. I'm thinking just like in Amazon in general, there are all kinds of people that will pay for reviews. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We're not allowed to pay for reviews. We're not allowed to offer any kind of like, what's the word? Reward for reviews. I thought about doing some kind of like giveaway, but then I was like, I think that might be like borderline breaking the rule. I'm not really a rule breaker, so we're not going to do that. But if you love it, go write a review. And I'm not just saying this about my books. Obviously, if you want to read my books, I would be thrilled. If you want to buy my books, that would be lovely. If you want to review my books, that would be excellent. But for whoever your favorite indie authors are, whoever your small authors are that nobody knows who they are, go write a review for that author, because I promise, number one, that author is actually reading those reviews. Number two, that author super appreciates them. Unless, again, you're just like 1 star, I hated this book. But then again, maybe that's like, I'm looking at this the first time I get a 1 star, I hated this book, I'm like, oh my gosh, I made it. I wrote a book that somebody paid money for and then hated enough to leave a review on. I officially have my first hater. I'm successful. So that's that. Thank you so much for being here this season. Again, season 2 will be available. I'll put the date officially down on here. I'm 98% sure it's October 9th. It's whatever it's the second Friday, because I think the first Friday, I didn't want to do the first Friday of October. So I'm pretty sure it's the second Friday of October. Let me just pull this off really fast. Yeah, so it's October 9th, 2008. Wow, we're going to go back in time. October 9th, 2026. We will be back with season 2. We've got a lot of fun things. I've got some fun things over the summer that I'm hoping to film. I also have a fun surprise. Maybe I don't want to even say anything about it yet because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it because I haven't actually applied because they haven't actually put the event up yet for me to apply to. But there might be a really fun event up in Blackfoot, Idaho. So if you're in that area or if you're thereabouts, that I might be doing. Fingers crossed. Please cross your fingers for me. If you're a praying person, please pray for me. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. But either way, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in October.